Coming to you from a tin can in the stand, it's BAFDraft, episode 61, with your host...
I want to kill you so bad. I want to kill you so bad. I'm Matt Zerby.
And our co-host...
Rob Flowers.
And I'm Gary Wilkinson, the producer. And also with us from Cardsphere is Ted Rodney from Ottawa, Canada, and Tom Reese out of Austin, Texas. How are you guys doing?
Pretty good, thanks.
Good, thank you.
I always try to come up with a goofy intro, and these guys do or do not like it.
Do not. Absolutely do not.
I thought it was pretty cool.
Alright, so what we're going to do, our first segment that we do is Geek of the Week. So Matt is going to ask you guys a lot of questions because you're both Magic players, correct?
That's right.
Okay, go ahead. Who do you want to talk to first?
Yeah, well, so let's go throw these out there for Ted first. Well, actually, you know what we'll do? We'll do Ted, then Tom. We'll go back and forth. How's that sound?
Sounds good to us.
All right, so going first with Tom, how did you first start getting into Magic?
I got married in 2013, and I got a Heroes vs. Monsters dual deck as a wedding present. Coworker got it for me and taught me how to play it.
That's actually pretty awesome. No, normally you hear about the marriages ending Magic careers, not starting it.
It's on the verge of that.
I like it. All right, next, what is your... sorry, for Tom, how did you get into Magic? Or Ted? Sorry, Ted.
That was Tom. You want my story now?
Yes.
So I'm kind of the old man of the group. I'm 45, so I was around 20 when we started getting packs up here in Canada, and I was a subscriber to Games Magazine, which at the time it covered a lot of board games, video games, and then had games within the magazine that you could do. And they reviewed Magic, and it was a half-page review, and I read it and said to myself, I have to have this. And so the only place that I could find them in Ottawa at the time was like a model train store, and I went and bought them out of all their packs and went back and tried to learn by myself and a couple of friends and played very, very bad games with very wrong rules for a long time. And then it dropped off from me for a really long time, and I only got back in as a married man and a father with Scars of Mirrodin block, and that ran right into Innistrad, and I've been playing heavily ever since.
Okay. Now, can I ask you, what was the best, worst rule you guys messed up?
Well, there's no way to not mess up banding. And there were a lot of cards with banding. I don't know how we thought it worked, but I'm sure it wasn't correct. And back in those days, there were a lot of people that played with their lands out front, and I'm very much against that. It's gross. Don't do it, people.
I'm gonna have to start doing that now just to see if I can throw people off.
Oh yeah, no. There's a guy at one of our stores in Ottawa who plays them on the side, like people who move their Windows Start menu to the side of the screen. It's awful. I don't know why people do this stuff.
Oh, that sounds truly horrific. What's wrong with people? Oh my word, that is terrible. All right, going for Tom, what is your favorite color or color combination?
Probably Selesnya. It was my first deck, and Return to Ravnica block, Selesnya aggro, and it was well positioned at the time, and I just liked that play style.
Okay.
The sissy play style. I have a question for Tom. Is that the sissy play style, Selesnya?
I'm so new, I don't even know what that is. Is that a card, Sissy?
No, I don't mean Captain Sissay. So, to answer your question, guys, I'm Rakdos, because there ain't no party like a Rakdos party, and that's why I don't think much of Tom's colors.
Yeah, they seem diametrically opposed.
Yeah. Tom and I get along though.
That's awesome. What is how about for each of you? What's your favorite format?
Tom, do you want to go first?
Sure. Yeah. Does kitchen table drafts count as a format?
Absolutely, it does.
So yeah, I mean that's my favorite. I had a buddy who played, and we would do Winston drafts all the time. Just recycle our old cards to get the most bang for our buck out of them, and we would just make packs, sort of pick 15 cards and a good distribution of colors, and just try to get some replay value out of them. And it was probably fun because we weren't competitive and just hanging out, drinking some beers. But official format, probably standard. I'm trying to get into modern, but my infect deck is not good right now. So
if only you guys had a way, to conveniently trade cards between different people for money.
I feel like I was deceived. Somebody told me get into modern. It's a one-time cost, and infect.
No, it's not. It's a one-time cancer, is what it is.
Yeah. So there's another founder of Cardsphere, Michael. He couldn't be here today because he was feeling under the weather and ended up going to see a doctor this morning. But he is one of the strongest modern players in Ottawa, and is very passionate about the format. I've never seen more salt ever in my life than when Splinter Twin got banned. We were at a shop that day, and he was so mopey and angry about it, and took him a couple of weeks to recover from that.
I believe it. We had a guy out here who, I don't remember what the order was, but he had just traded away like 2 of his decks for a Splinter Twin deck, and then after that one was banned, traded all the rest of his cards for Bloom Titan.
Oh no!
Yeah, it was really bad. It was hilarious.
Yeah, that's the terrible thing about non-rotating formats with significant ban hammers, right? So people can stand to lose a lot of money. It's one of the reasons why we do on Cardsphere have a max price. Even this week with the change to the legendary rule, we had lots of users be surprised by the spiking Kamigawa lands and stuff like that. So I'm not a big fan of bans. Myself, guys, I play Pauper because it's non-rotating. There's not a lot of bans, and the decks aren't too expensive. You can put them together, most of the tier 1 decks, for about $100, and they're surprisingly powerful.
Okay. Do you play a lot of paper or mostly online, or?
So the Pauper I play online, and it's a way to sort of get the games in ad hoc when I want them. I did have a very strong EDH play group going for a while, a casual group with a lot of drinking and whose turn is it, that sort of thing going on.
Nice.
But these days, most of the time I play with a smaller group of friends. I get to play a lot with my wife. My wife is a stats nerd, so she got into Magic pretty easily, and so whenever there's a new set, she's always happy that I'm buying boxes to play kitchen table sealed at home.
You're a lucky man.
Yes, I am.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, my wife still calls me a nerd whenever she sees me playing D&D over Google Hangouts.
Well, there's plenty of people around to call me a nerd, so
Nice.
just not my wife. My wife's a bigger nerd than me.
Okay. And then, so wrapping up Geek of the Week, Tom, what is your signature card? What is the one card that in all of Magic, no, I don't want to say that you think is the most powerful, but the one that identifies you as a person and as a Magic player?
I'm going to go with Rain of Salt.
I can second that for Tom.
I mean,
Is there a story behind that?
Nah, I'm trying to become an adult. I don't know. I'll be 30 and no, I'll be 29 this year. But I'm still trying to grow up, so I get salty about things.
Okay.
Ted will attest. We spend a lot of time arguing with each other. They're good arguments.
They're great
That's kind.
arguments.
Yeah.
Productive arguments.
Nice. And for Ted?
Well, I'd say functionally, it's maybe a grand architect. I really dig that card. It's very powerful and multi-purpose. And I was surprised to see, it's maybe a tier 2, tier 3 modern deck. Maybe getting better with it. The one that can get the worm coil engines out pretty quick. And I like what it does. It does ramp. It's a lord. It's crazy. But if I'm being really honest, my heart belongs to Uncle Istvan.
Oh wow!
Yeah, that's going back
old,
away.
That's an old card. I actually had one of those.
Yeah.
That's one of those ones they reprinted in Chronicles.
I don't think they ever did.
No, they did. They did. It was one of the time spiral. The purple cards. What are they called? Were they called treasures?
Oh. I can't remember. I know you're talking about. They had the purple hourglass. There's a one per pack or something.
Yeah. So he did get a reprint.
Okay, that's awesome. So that's our Geek of the Week questions that we have, and like we had hinted at, you guys are the part of the Cardsphere team. How about we give you guys a chance to tell the listener what Cardsphere is? Yeah.
A little history behind it.
The history. So we had all been online traders, and I think we all liked trading online for the same reason, which was it cut down on hours spent at your LGS with sweaty men and spread open binders trying to cut deals and people staring at phones. Trading in person is a lot less appealing these days. It's a lot less fun. Pardon me, guys. And I did like trading online, and I was really successful using a number of products, using Deckbox, using PucaTrade. But over time, those products started to not address my needs. And so as that was happening, I've been working in the software industry for about 10 years now, and our other partner, Michael, happened to be a developer at the place I was working, and I was doing technical support and training, that sort of thing. And we found each other as Magic players, and I suggested to him, that he start using some of these websites. He picked it up and started having some good success. And we had a couple of little discussions between him and I about starting an alternative site and fixing some of the problems. Now, meanwhile, Tom was trying to make some supplementary products to enhance the PucaTrade experience. Do you want to speak to your brief history doing that stuff, Tom?
I mean, I don't know what else to say other than I write software to make things easier. So, fitting my hobbies into that goal made sense. So I made stuff for PucaTrade, and I wanted to own a site like that myself, and this seemed like a good way to help. And in my case specifically, I made a tool that helped you trade lower value cards, Pucato, and some other tools that helped you add your cards quicker. But that's really all there is.
And then things sort of culminated about a year ago, really, when PucaTrade launched their future site, and like many users, we found it, a very challenging user interface, and strapped over top of an economy that was struggling as well. Michael thought perhaps this is time for us to disrupt things and come up with a competitor. Tom had been launching a project that he was going to call Tradebinder, and Michael and Tom started talking online, and the three of us came together as the core Cardsphere team. And we do have some other people that contribute in various means, but really the sort of direction, the decision making, the three of us take that responsibility for ourselves, and we accept help from a few other people who've been able to contribute.
Okay. Now, I know we on this podcast have talked quite a bit about Puka Trade. We got into Puka Trade. Gary got into Puka Trade really, really hardcore. For a long time, he would basically proselytize to anyone who would listen about the glories of Puka Trade.
Yeah, and I mean, for good reason. There were for a couple of weeks, he was the top trader in the world while being out here. So, I mean, he was very, very well versed in how it worked and getting a lot of trades done.
But let's assume our listener has no idea what Puka Trade is. What is Cardsphere? In its most basic form.
Cardsphere is a number of services that come together to make it easier for people to trade online. So we allow people to import lists of cards that they want and lists of cards that they have, or manually add them one at a time. And what we do is present people with matches. So you can look at what cards you can send to people with Cardsphere and choose whether or not you want to send them. With Cardsphere, one of the things that we do differently from some of the other services is we allow the people, when they say they want a card, to say how much they want, they are willing to pay for it. So then, we give an index price where we collect pricing information from multiple external sources, and then we show the aggregate price to people. We also show them what all the offers are. So Gary, for example, might be offering 81% of the index price for a walking ballista, and I can choose whether or not I want to send that to him. So it's a push model, which means there's not really any negotiation needed. You don't have to do any of that haggling. And of course, so the only other push service that I'm aware of that's out there is Puka Trade. And unlike Puka Trade, when you use Cardsphere, you're actually using US dollars. Our entire system is built on US dollars, and you can therefore also get cashed out. And if you want to get your money out of the system, you can just put in a request and we'll transfer a payment out to you currently via PayPal, although we may have some other options coming soon.
Okay, so it's very similar to Puka Trade in the sense that the money points, that whole currency system stays in the program on your account, on your profile, but you have the option to cash out. If that's what I'm catching. Kidding.
That's right. So people do put money in. So we regularly see people putting in cash, and right now the nature of our economy is such that it's a real buyer's market, and people are able to get really great deals on cards looking at the prices. And we have attracted a lot of the power senders as well from other sites. And so people are moving quite a bit of cardboard at the top end. And in the first 3 months, we've already done cash outs to our users in excess of $20,000.
Oh, wow, that's very impressive.
Yeah, especially for the first 3 months.
Yeah, and I've been I've noticed too, because I've been pretty active in it in the last 3 months to 3 months now. I've been as soon as it opened up, I was on it. I think a couple of weeks after it opened up, and I found that there are stores sending stuff out too, which I think is awesome because they have good inventory. So that means I can get things when I need them. Matt doesn't really use it. He was on Puka Trade for a while, I think, and then once that kind of crashed, which I still consider it kind of crashed, we just didn't do any trading. And then a friend of mine told me about Cardsphere, and I did the little beta testing on it and was messing around with it. And then when it finally came open, I was just so excited. But Matt will give me cards occasionally, and Rob will give me cards.
Yep.
I'll get rid of them on there, and then they'll have credit like with me, and then I'll get them what they want.
Yeah.
Like we just got 2 in today, Matt. Here you go.
Oh.
And Matt's opening it up. I've already opened them, but he's gonna see what he got today.
Let's see what came in some
Let's
Cardsphere.
get
Little disallow action, and
Get disallow and a gear hold.
disallow and a gear hawk.
Yeah.
Okay, and we got here. Oh, Nicol Bolas Godpharaoh.
nice.
Yeah, my standard deck's coming together.
Are you building a blue-red control?
Yeah, blue-red control. I tried it when I went to Games Day in Dubai. Fell in love with it, so I was like, you know what? Let's just build it. I think it'll last rotation, so give it a try.
That's what I'm on right now, and I just picked up my Nicol Bolas.
Nice. That's awesome. Great minds and all that.
Now I have a couple of questions. I have one of our we're a group of players here that rotate in and out. One of our guys, Brandon Costanzo, he had a question. When are you guys ever gonna do an app for Cardsphere?
No, we're not going to do an app because the UI itself has been designed with a mobile-first perspective. So it should be working perfectly on any kind of phone or tablet that you have. And if you find that things aren't working, let us know and we'll fix it up real quick.
Awesome. And then this isn't a question I had. Are you ever going to do account-to-account transfers? Which I know people can cash out, but let's say they don't have $100 or more. Or let's say I'm doing a trade with Matt. Like, say I got Matt sitting here right next to me. I've got a card he wants, and I'm like, here, I'll give it to you for this amount. And then he transfers money in his account because he's trying to use that pool of money instead of maybe money outside.
So this is a request that we've heard quite a few times, and we are tracking it as an idea, as a use case, because we know people want to do that. And the sort of fear that is involved is that someone can grab that cash away from you, right? Because right now it's hard to keep a balance in your Cardsphere account. People are just sending cards out so quickly. So I can understand why you want to do it. Unfortunately, there's some legal ramifications for that. When we were starting out, we actually had to invest a lot of time into researching the rumors that had developed around money transferring. So there were a lot of rumors that no one would be able to develop a site like Cardsphere based on actual currency because people said this is going to break money laundering laws. So we did our due diligence and we got in touch with FinTrack in Canada. And FinTrack is the equivalent of the American FinCEN, which is the governing body to take a look, and they're the people that investigate things like, wire fraud and money transfer fraud, money laundering. And we had a number of discussions with those people, and they made clear what we can do and what we can't do. So what we're able to do is hold money for people in escrow while trade's happening. We're also able to adjust amounts between accounts when it's tied to a specific dispute. So say you send a card to someone and you have a condition dispute and they don't want the card. I can transfer money from the sender's account to the receiver's account to cover postage back. But we cannot facilitate user-to-user money transfers, because that would put us under a whole bunch of other legislation that would make our operation just not feasible at our current size. So there's just so many rules and so much reporting we would have to do. It's not something we can do. But we're looking for other solutions to the kind of problem that you're talking about. Gotcha.
That makes total sense, actually.
Yeah, no, I track with that.
I do like the idea that you can move things around to accommodate disputes and stuff.
Now, I know there were rumors with Puka Trade that Wizards of the Coast hated the fact that Puka Trade existed, and was angry at him. Have you guys has Wizards of the Coast said anything to you guys? Have you talked to any of their representatives or people?
No, not at all. So far, everyone that we've spoken to from the industry has been very, very positive about Cardsphere. We've had a number of people speak with us who are interested in investing opportunities or closer relationships, and some of these are very big entities in the secondary market sort of Magic area. So I don't think there's any problem with what we're doing, or else they wouldn't. The people who have approached us would know about these sort of pitfalls and would be avoiding it. I don't think anything we're doing should bother them. We're just working the secondary market just like any LGS does, facilitating trades between people. I'm not sure why they would be interested in anything that we're doing.
Well, no,
we're all
sorry. I guess my question probably came across in the negative sense. Have they said anything about the positives? Like, have they been like, hey, this really... Personally, I always thought that Puka Trade was a really good, the concept of it, and what you're doing with Cardsphere. I always thought, those type of programs, expediting trades between people, getting the cards to the people who actually want them in hand, was always something really amazing.
Mm-hmm. I have actually heard that, and I don't know whether this is true or not, I have actually heard it said that one of the reasons why WotC can't comment on the secondary market would be that doing so would constitute an admission that there are different values to the cards, which would turn their business into gambling in some states, right? Because some $4 packs, contain $50 card right off the bat. So their claim is that every card, is worth 1/15 of the $4 cost. So I don't know how much truth there is to that, but I've never seen WotC comment on any third-party trading or third-party market site at all.
It's funny, we're talking to you guys and we're actually learning a bunch of stuff like with the wire transfer laws and things like that. And as just layman users, you would never think about that until you talk to guys like you that are actually doing this, and you've actually done the research and you've made sure everything is legally correct. And because I would have never suspected anything about the whole gambling laws, or the wire transfer. And once you said it, it's like one of those light bulb moments, like, oh yeah, that kind of is a thing.
Yeah.
and that really would be a thing. So it is really neat to see kind of the background of how it all came about, and the hurdles that you guys have had to jump through to actually make it a reality.
Mm-hmm. We've had a fantastic community from day one. It was mostly on Reddit. Now we sort of have spread over to Discord as well. But in the earlier days, the community, our posts would attract a great deal of naysaying, and you can't do this. This won't be legal. It's impossible. You'll never be able to gain people's trust back after the Puka Trade crash. And we've combated that just by being 100% transparent with our community. And that includes when we make mistakes. And we have made mistakes and reversed our decisions, and done that after having open communication and open dialogue with the community themselves. So we're very lucky to have had the kind of supporters that we do have. They tell us when we do something wrong. They tell us when they like what we're doing. And usually it's not too salty, which is the best part of all.
Well, I can tell you, I guess I won't speak for Matt. Matt, why do you not... Puka Trade kind of burns you a little bit, right, on that?
Well, it was usable on the computer that I have access to, and then Future State came out, and it looked like hot, spicy garbage. So, I was done.
Yeah, same here. Mm-hmm. I was just full blast. Then Future Sight came out, and it just literally it was like somebody threw a stick in my spokes, and that was the end of that. Man, it went bad. And Rob, same
Yeah.
way. You still got puka points
Yeah,
you're trying to shoot out.
because I mean, I had been out here before, and I had accumulated somewhere in the $140 worth of points range, and I've literally been sitting on them. I've got $180 worth of trades that I'm asking for the last 4 months, and I haven't had anything, ranging from 10-cent cards all the way up to $60 cards.
And a lot of that has to do with the puka point is its own economy, and it had nothing to back it up, and then it got flooded with more points that weren't backed up with anything, and which just caused it to go horribly wrong. With yours, there's a tangible, you can see it, there's cash, I can get to a certain amount, and I can actually pull it out. I'm allowed to basically withdraw, where Puka you couldn't sell. It was against the rules, still is, I think, to sell points. And they're trying to sink points by doing other kinds of odd things, like if you wanna pay more for your cards.
We don't have to go into details about what a failing website's doing. Let's talk about the amazing Cardsphere. No, let's just keep the focus of the interview. So, have any of you guys are any of you guys working on Cardsphere full time, or are you still like a part-time hobby, or?
No, all three of us still have full-time day jobs in the software industry, and we, when I said earlier that we had been approached by people that were willing to invest, we have had offers that would have allowed us to go full-time into Cardsphere, but we would have lost control, and we don't want to do that. We want to make sure that we're delivering the product that we want to use as traders, because we had that long, dark 8 months of no trades as well. And now we're back to trading heavily, and it's fantastic. So we're fortunate enough that our operating costs are not horrible. Everything has been designed on the back end by Michael and Tom very well, so that our operating costs, our server costs are low. We've been profitable since our first month, as in covering our own operating costs, maybe not profitable if you want to consider the 8 months of work that it took us to get to the launchable point. But right now, with us working in the evenings and managing the product and pushing out minor improvements every week over week, we've got a very comfortable long runway, and can continue to operate this way as we build up the user base. And that's really what our challenge is right now. We're looking for that sort of explosive growth to happen. So as of this moment, I think we're sitting at 3,400 users in 3 months. Yeah, 34, 35 as of this second. And, we want to get up there to about 10, 20 users, and then we're going to see a lot more action start happening. So we have daily trades, and we're moving a lot of product, moving a lot of cardboard, but you may see the story online that's sort of developed saying that Cardsphere is the place to go to get the valuable cards, the chase cards, and the other websites are still better for the junk. Now, we think that's happening because people are trying to get out of the other websites, and so they have these broad lists, and they'll accept any card that you want to send to them. So it's easier to find the small fish on Puka Trade, for example. People are looking to get rid of those Puka points before they're taken away. And once people are out of those websites, all of that traffic is going to come over to Cardsphere. And then you'll be able to get the good stuff, the bad stuff, the jank, and everything in between.
As a user, I will verify that, because I did that on Puka Trade. Mm-hmm. I got 20-cent, 30-cent slivers, tried to get play sets of just junk. I finished out, now I'm doing it with you guys.
Well, and I can say, as a user of a user, is that what I can say? So, yeah, Gary got me my entire standard deck from Cardsphere. So
awesome. That's pretty good for a sub user.
Yeah.
You're a sub user, man.
You need to make sub accounts. Could you make sub accounts so Gary can have like 3 sub users? Or
Yeah, three of his ladies.
Yeah.
I just need to get these guys on board. I got another player that's in our group. He signed up a few days ago, so we're working on recruiting the area.
Or it could be like,
That's
what is
awesome,
that? What is that one where you get people who sell under you and then get those people to sell under
It's
you?
called a Ponzi scheme.
Oh yeah.
The triangles.
I believe it's called multi-level marketing.
Yeah.
What they call that on Always
Yeah.
Sunny, where it's like down the cone.
So we have seen referral links work very positively for other websites. Unfortunately, Cardsphere can't give away money for each referral. But what our current plan is, and everything's subject to change, but we think the way that it's going to work, we're going to be offering a premium tier of product fairly soon, and we're going to be including a mechanism for people to do referral links to earn themselves weeks of premium.
Oh, okay.
See, that's pretty neat.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. And especially, that'll give them an incentive once they get a taste of it. And they'll be like, oh, I really like the way this works. Especially, more power users like Gary that are on there, every week sending out quite a bit of cards.
Try like every hour.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, once they get a taste of it, I think that's a really great model. And I mean, you're like you said, you're not giving away free money, and you're just basically getting them hooked on an easier way to do things.
I hope so. And the other thing is, if you guys ever encounter anyone that's got any kind of reservations, if they're feeling like they were burned by Puka Trade and they don't want to go into another site with that model, you can always point them towards our Reddit, to our Discord, and to us directly. We're happy to have conversations with anyone. We've gotten pretty used to people being wary and cautious, and we know how to make people feel a little bit more comfortable about the service and get involved slowly. What we typically see is that people will put in $25 as a test, and later that day they'll put in another $25, and and then it keeps moving. So almost 100% of users who have put money in have come back and put more money in.
I put money in every payday on top of my trades.
Jeez Louise. Yeah. Flowers, did you have some questions?
I actually did, but it was kind of in reference to an interview a couple of your people had done back in February, and it was with a group called MTG Fast Finance. And they had posted a couple of their concerns and some of the things they said. It was basically like, what was the incentive to using your service versus something like eBay or Amazon? And I was just wondering if that interview, in the way that they kind of responded and the questions they asked, if that kind of shaped the way you guys might have changed your approach as you got closer to the launch day of the website.
A lot of the questions were informative. I'll tell you, the very first thing that I did after that interview went live was I extracted the questions that were asked, and I made our FAQ. So if you read down our FAQ on the website, you'll see that it follows the flow of that interview very, very well. So it did give us a lot of good insight over the kinds of things that people would be thinking about. Well, obviously we had Peter Twig go on that show with Tom, and Peter is a fantastic trader. We all know Dr. Twig as excellent economics resource for the entire trading community, and we've consulted with him quite a great deal since day one. But that interview itself, he didn't know some of the things that we had planned, and Tom is a little more shy and reserved, right, Boo Boo? Right, Boo Boo?
Yeah, I think the word is introverted.
Yeah, so Tom's a little more introverted. So the first thing we learned was that either Michael or I should be on an interview anytime we do one. Just so that
I mean, you got to know who your face people are.
Yeah, that's it. Now, specifically to the question about getting down to the nitty gritty of the finance, I'm not a super great person to ask about that because I've never worked with TCG Player. I've never sold cards on eBay. I've seen a lot of discussion back and forth through all kinds of forums about whether or not Cardsphere is more or less expensive than these other options. The way that I tend to think about it as a trader myself, I put money in cards into the system, but I'm never cashing out of it. I just want to trade piles of cards for piles of cards. And doing that, I know I'm doing that at a 1% rate. And where the other concerns sometimes come in about, well, if I'm only getting 84% of value of index price for this card, well, then I'm losing 17%. But, if you're getting all your other cards cheaper and you're able to move some jank at the same time, that evens out. And I would rather be doing it as a member of a community. And Cardsphere has a really great community. The guys in our Discord are doing fantasy football leagues right now, stuff like that. It's a really fantastic community to be a part of. And I just prefer the format. I don't want to deal with eBay. It's gross.
It's really crazy because I order cards occasionally time from time on TCG Player, but every time I look at eBay, I'm just like, I don't want to get fleeced. It's something weird about the fact that I'm willing to order cards from TCG Player, and I don't, from eBay. It's just, I don't know what maybe it's a subconscious thing. I don't know. I just can't, but that's just me personally.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say that, to me, TCG Player feels like a big, scary corporation, just like eBay. But I'm pretty, I don't know. I'm a little bit of a hippie too, I suppose, then.
So if you guys had a giant pile of cash thrown at you and an unlimited time of development, no strings attached, no nothing, what is one thing you'd change about Cardsphere right now?
Well, Tom, why don't you give your answer? Because I think our answers are probably going to be different.
It's a tough question. Is I don't know an acceptable answer. If I follow it up with a mini story.
Yeah. We love stories.
Just keep talking, man. That's the trick.
It's not that interesting. I honestly don't know what I would do with money. That's what's exciting about this project to me is I don't, I guess money helps with things like that, but I think all the other qualities that we have will contribute to our success more. And, some of I like lots of nerdy development quotes. And, one of the famous ones is, 9 people can't make a baby in a month. And so, I don't think that manpower is the answer. I don't know if I believe in advertising. Maybe it seeps into my subconscious. But the mini story I had is a coworker of mine. He offered to invest a few $1,000s. He's like, look, I'll give you some money. You can spend it on advertising or shirts or whatever you want. And I said, we got stickers, and that's good enough. I don't know how to spend money. I'm very frugal with my own money. So that's my
Tom,
answer.
I think the question here is actually, if you had the time to work on Cardsphere full time, what would you change first?
Yeah, I would. If I worked full time, I would write code all day towards making Cardsphere better instead of my 9 to 5 to pay off my student loans.
Well, I'm saying also with an unlimited development team too. Let's just say you had the wish to grant anything you wanted for Cardsphere. What would be one thing you'd change about it right now?
No barriers.
Yeah, no barriers, nothing in your way. It's sky's the limit.
Go Ted, I'll think.
Okay, so I think the something we have planned that I would love to see sooner rather than later is the reputation system, so that you can get stats on, looking at a trader's profile. Hey, this is how many of their shipments get lost. This is, how long they've been a member. And we also want to sort of introduce feedback the same way, Deckbox has, where you can put comments on, and gamification features, which are kind of fun, right? So we have tons and tons of plans for the system, more plans than than we could do with the current team size this year. But we've been surprisingly able to release a lot of improvements very quickly. Michael's an absolute coding machine. He codes for 8 hours a day at his day job, and then at least 8 hours a day on Cardsphere. And so Tom and I sometimes make a joke about poor Michael trying to swim with 2 anchors on him, but he's an absolute beast.
That's awesome to have.
Yeah, it sure is. So, Tom, what do you think? Lots of Gaussian blur?
Yes.
Card images on every page?
Nah, I mean, I guess if I had, no barriers, and I knew that we could pay other developers that would work to the quality that, Michael and I try to hold ourselves to, I would magically snap my fingers and have the entire backlog of feature requests sort of implemented. Like that's been the most eye-opening thing throughout this experience for me, is sort of having to deal with, and this is a good thing, but no matter what you do, people always want something a little more, and that's fine, that's good, that's how keeps us on our toes. But it is painful to have to say, yeah, it's logged, we're working on it, over and over and over. I wish I could just say, yep, it's done, it's live. So, but I would, I'm very concerned with quality, and so they would have to be, the best of the best.
One of Tom's fantastic strengths, and you see this happening, you see this play out on Reddit or on Discord sometimes, is Tom really gets into a really deep dialogue with people when they make a feature request, when they say, hey, I wish that Cardsphere could do this. And then, the poor unsuspecting person who just wanted to drop a suggestion and keep moving gets pinned down by Tom for about an hour as Tom asks him all the follow-up questions and challenges all the sort of preconceptions around the feature. And often you'll see Tom saying to them, I need to understand everything about the problem. I don't want you to think that I'm criticizing your idea. I just need to sort of get into the space of the idea and understand it from all angles. So I've learned a lot from Tom in how much he can evaluate a single small concise detail, little tiny feature, and really feed and water it so it blossoms.
That's awesome. Sounds like you guys have a great team behind Cardsphere, and definitely have projections for the future. 5 years from now, where do you guys see yourselves?
Well, we're hoping Tom's going to move to Canada.
Yeah.
I heard it's nice up there.
I would like to be working Cardsphere full time, and not have a day job. I'd like Cardsphere to be sort of our employer. I'd love to have the Cardsphere offices in the back of an LGS within walking distance from my house. So that's what I would like. Tom?
Yeah, same thing. I mean,
in Canada though, right, Tom?
I mean, yeah,
I know.
Wherever. I don't even have a passport.
Yeah, I know. That's okay. We've got a soft border.
Yeah.
Wait another couple years.
Yeah. The other thing that I should say, I was sort of thinking about myself with my answer. I want to make sure, and we hold ourselves to a high standard here, that we continue to operate ethically, that we continue to serve the community while still being able to be members of the community, and that we do that by continuing to listen to people. When we have seen other companies fail because they did not listen to what their users were telling them. And I'm not just talking about this particular space. It happens all the time. Mm-hmm. And you need to listen to people, react appropriately. And we're big fans of just, human to human interaction and doing our best and being prepared to interact with people and make sure that as things need adjustment, we're ready to do that. We don't want to think of ourselves as the experts or the people who know best. We're just sort of like the gatekeepers of the product.
Okay. Now I know some of the other websites that do the trading, they have branched out to articles and content, outside of just that. Do you guys have plans for that as well?
It's something we've talked about. Certainly people are asking us for it, but with really a small team of 3, that's kind of difficult. We don't like to take Tom or Michael off the development work to do that sort of thing. But you might see something from us in the future. I do have the Cardsphere WordPress registered. We just haven't been using it. I think that I think there's some value to it, but we do at the same time want to stay focused on our core competency, which is making sure that we're developing the best trading platform that we can. So, and we also have a limited budget right now as far as what we can do with marketing. So we want to make sure that we're spending that in the most effective way. And I'm not sure that paying content creators would be the most effective way.
Okay.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, especially with being so new, keeping everything focused on the actual trading aspect of a trading website it does make a lot of sense.
Yeah,
I like it.
Although I do have an idea for my series if we ever get there to writing articles. I want to do a series called Scrubbing the Deck, where I take a great deck and make it shitty, because that's tends to be what I do anyway.
Like, you mean like budget-wise, or just like you want to change card names like off by a letter or two, and then they're just a weird deck that doesn't work? Or
no, I am very attracted to jank, and okay. And so I'll see a card and I want to use it, and I'll say, oh my god, I need to put this Bomat Courier into Affinity, and that's it. This is going to revolutionize things. And then I go, I want to beat the magic hive mind once and improve a deck. I want to improve a deck, but instead I just schlock in some shitty cards that don't work and walk away from the LGS with my tail between my legs. So,
just take some take a signature
for it.
Just take a combo deck that and then just remove the actual win condition and then run that as a deck.
That's me all over, for sure.
I'd read that.
Hey, so we're gonna transition into like our pack one, pick one. But
well,
I want to give you a chance.
Yeah. Before we go to pack one, pick one, if you guys want to stay with us and do that, that'd be awesome to have you on for that. But we want to give you a chance to plug. Yeah, go. This is your chance.
Anything really?
Plug anything?
Well, I assume Cardsphere in all of its glory, but anything in addition to that, personal projects you're working on, this is your chance.
Well, I think that all of our time and resources are going into Cardsphere right now. We'd welcome your listeners to contact us, sign up if you have any questions. We'll happily talk you through everything. We don't just own the company, we're users, and we are happy with the way that the trades are going. We want everyone else to be happy with it too. And keep an eye out. I would suggest that people subscribe to our Reddit or our Twitter feed so that you can see each week as we're dropping new code. We've been pretty consistently deploying once a week and adding incremental improvements. Right now we're stepping towards window shopping features. We just recently added the ability to trade sealed product. And there's lots more that we have in the hopper, lots of work to do. You may see some new and interesting options coming up over the next few months about different ways to cash out. We've got lots of stuff planned. Just keep an eye on us, folks.
And all the listeners, some of your viewers, you'll see it up above here on the screen. But you can go to their website. It is cardsphere.com. Yeah, cardsphere.com. And you can follow them at Twitter at Real Cardsphere? At Real Cardsphere?
That's right.
Yeah. And they're also on Facebook.
Yep.
Was there a fake one?
There, you know what? There's a Japanese dude who 4 years ago had some kind of Cardsphere. He was using Cardsphere for Yu-Gi-Oh, and you can't really get those back. I contacted him. I offered to buy the account, all that sort of thing. I never heard anything back. And Twitter surprisingly doesn't do anything about that. So they leave their dead accounts open, and you can't get the name, even if you have a registered corporation, that sort of thing.
Wow.
And Tom, you got anything to plug?
No, I was going to chime in and have Ted tell them, how to find us, but you guys covered that. Hi, Mom.
I hope your wife isn't sitting right beside you, because now you're in big trouble, dude.
Oh, yeah.
The patient, kind, and supportive wives of Cardsphere. They've put up with a lot in the last year, and as soon as we make real profits, boy, oh boy, are they going to get some pretty dresses, girls.
There you go. I like it. You guys want to stick with us for Pack One Pick One? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so we do our Pack One Pick One a little bit different. The way we do it is the first card is your Pack One Pick One, and then you're trying to find an upgrade from that. Most of our listeners are very new or newer to Magic, so we talk a little bit excessively about some cards. If you have a story to tell or an interesting thing that happened with one of these cards, by all means. But we're drafting from the current. We're doing Pack One Pick One from the current set, which is Hour of Devastation.
Here we go. The smell.
Oh, here we go. Every time.
It's the smell of the
card
pack
smell.
is amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, first pack is Countervailing Winds. It's 2 and a blue. It's an instant. Counter target spell. Unless its controller pays 1 for each card in your graveyard, and it has cycling 2.
Yeah, it's a good card. I've one person used it against me. They thought it was my graveyard and not their graveyard, which was really funny.
Why, did they have 0 cards in their graveyard?
Yeah.
Oh, that's the best.
The RTFC. Alright, next one. Ooh. Okay, Sandblast. 2 and a white. It's an instant. Sandblast deals 5 damage to target attacking or blocking creature.
All right, so again, the way we do Pack One Pick One is that currently all of our Pack One Pick One is the Countervailing Winds, as it's the only one. So basically, are we going to upgrade that? Tom, do you think that Sandblast is an upgrade?
I vote take the Sandblast over the counter because drafting control is hard.
Drafting controls hard. I like it.
Yeah, I think
And
we're
it's
all in
good.
agreement with that.
Yeah.
Okay, next one is Firebrand Archer. It's 1 and a red. It's a creature. It's a human archer. When you cast a non-creature spell, Firebrand Archer deals 1 damage to each opponent, and it's a 2/1.
I want to build the deck around that. I wouldn't first pick it, but I want to build the deck
It's
around
hard
that.
to do in draft because you've got more creature base than you do non-creatures. So
Yeah, I'm going to stick with Sandblast.
Yeah. Very, very excited about the Archer for Pauper especially, but if we're playing limited, I'm still on Sandblast.
All right.
Hey, next one is Lurching Rot Beast. 3 and a black. It's a zombie beast. It's got cycling for black, and it's a 4/2.
My opinion on this card is going up. I think it's gotten better than I originally thought. You know, still think the four power is amazing, and I think it's going to trade up most of the time. But it's not better than Sandblast.
No.
That all sounds fair to me.
All right, next one is Frilled Sandwalla. It's just cost a green. It's a lizard. If you pay 1 and a green, it gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Activate this ability only once each turn. It's a 1/1. It's a bad mana sink.
I mean, it's not terrible. Turn 1, you drop that. If you don't have anything for turn 2, and they think they're going to come in, with a 2/2 that they put on 2 or something, then he can just eat it.
Yeah, I don't know. Like you,
It's
had
very
convinced me last
situational.
night when we were playing.
I love when my opponent plays one. I am ecstatic when my opponent plays one, and I think that's a bad sign for a card.
Yeah, so I think that's your way of saying Sandblast.
Yes, Sandblast.
Still on the
here's another
Sandblast
removal.
over here.
Torment of Venom, 2 black, instant. Put 3 -1/-1 counters on target creature. Its controller loses 3 life unless he or she sacrifices another non-land permanent or discards a card.
That's where I'm going. That's my pack one, pick one.
I'm still going with Sandblast just because it's so inexpensive.
It's 1 more mana for
I guess, yeah.
killing something, which is great, but you get 2 to 3 effects on that.
With that being said, last night I did pick that over that. I did pick
Venom.
Torment over
Yeah.
Sandblast. Yeah, I go with the Torment. Those negative ones are
Pack
powerful.
one, pick one. You're getting double black though, right?
Yeah, it is double black. So are you on Sandblast or are you on Torrent?
Well, I like Rakdos. I told you guys. So
Yeah.
I think I'm on this card, but I felt like I should comment that it's double black.
Well, here's another double one.
Well, how about the Selesny player? Selesny, are you willing to dip into the dark side?
Nope, Sandblast.
Well, he's sticking to his colors. I
like
respect
it.
that.
Yeah.
All right, next one is Granitic Titan, 4 and a red. It's an elemental with menace and cycling 2, and it's a 5/4.
I'm still about that removal. I'm still
Yeah.
in the mono black.
I did some good stuff with that card this summer on my vacation. If I was hopeful to be building a cycling deck, maybe, but I think I would stay with the removal.
Right.
Yeah.
Next one is Life Goes On. It's a green instant. Gain 4 life. If a creature died this turn, you gain 8 instead. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not even Selesnya players are first picking that.
The next
What?
one is...
Life is
Oh,
good.
go ahead.
You don't want to gain life? Seems awesome.
Well, yeah, all you do is
I
just
know.
delay in your doom.
Yeah.
Just,
Just-
stream of life, baby. That's the way to go.
What, X and green?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seer of Last Tomorrow, 2 in blue. It's a Naga Cleric. If you pay a blue and tap it, discard a card. Target player puts the top 3 cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard. It's a 1/4. I'm going to say no,
no
but
one
I would really
starts
love to see...
No.
Well, I'd like to see a mill deck succeed in this.
No, I don't want a mill deck to succeed because we did a pie challenge and I said that nobody will ever win off Seer of Last Tomorrow.
The person who would do it never shows up.
Yeah. we have a guy who loves to force mill. He forces mill every chance he gets.
Yeah, I'm hoping.
I can get down with mill, but it hasn't really been viable since what was it, M15 with Mind Sculpt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was scary times.
Yeah, I mean that was good. No one's doing mill today though.
All right, here's our first desert. Desert of the Fervent. It's one of the common ones. It's a desert, enters the battlefield tapped. You can tap it to add 1 red to your mana pool. and cycling for 1 and a red. Nothing has required that desert yet, so I'm going to say no.
Well, you know, I like the deserts. I'm not gonna take a desert over a premium removal spell.
Yeah. Okay, we're getting into our first uncommon. This is Appeal to Authority. This is a sorcery of it, which is the appeal is until end of turn, target creature gains trample and gets +X/+X, where X is the number of creatures you control. Then it's sorcery speed Aftermath, which is 1 and a white, is tap up to 2 creatures your opponent's control. Creatures you control gain vigilance until end of turn.
I'm waiting to see if Tom's gonna. The Selesny player is all about this one. You're gonna pack one, pick one, a Selesny card.
I missed the card name. I'm sorry about that.
It is Appeal to Authority. It's one of the ones that has the
It's Aftermath.
Yes,
Yeah, with Aftermath.
It's the split card.
Was it 1 green, target creature gains +X/+X until
Where
end of
X is the
turn,
number of creatures you control.
and trample, and then authority is 1 and a white as sorcery speed as well. It says tap up to 2 target creatures opponents control, and then all your creatures gain vigilance until end of turn.
I like it, but I think I'm going to stick with the Sandblast. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so here's our next uncommon, Vile Manifestation. It's 1 and a black. It's a horror. Vile Manifestation gets +1/+0 for each card with cycling in your graveyard, and it has cycling 2, and it's a 0/4.
I like it to death. Unfortunately, I've never gotten it to work because I only seem to get 1. So we'll stick with the Torment of Venom.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Vile Manifestation.
Really?
Yeah, I think the cards are comparable in power level. I want the one that's going to shape my deck around. Also, I want the one that I'm going to get less of. I think I can pick up another Torment later on in the draft, but I want the Vile Manifestation.
Yeah, I'm kind of sold on that argument. I think I'm on Vile now too.
I'm still sticking with Torment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do we get you to come over to the dark side, Tom?
No, I'm gonna stay.
Yeah,
All right.
He's going to keep himself pure.
All right.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Good old rock. Nothing beats rock.
Let's mix it up a little bit. Unraveling Mummy. 1 white and black. Zombie. If you pay 1 and a white, target attacking zombie gains lifelink until the end of turn. If you pay 1 and a black, target attacking zombie gains death touch until end of turn, and it's a 2/3. Rob.
Yeah, I'm going with that.
Yeah.
You're going with the,
Yep.
the 2-color zombie?
Yep. I don't even care. If I had that last night, I think I would have been a happy little boy. Unfortunately, I did not get any last night. And my placement wasn't going to change much anyway.
Yeah.
But in my mind, it would have.
Yeah.
I'm still sticking with Torment.
Yeah, the thing about the zombie is you're setting up all your hopes on pack 3, right?
Yes.
So that would be. I don't know if I would start with that. I'm going to stay on the manifestation.
Yeah, and I'm still on the manifestation too.
Okay, so we all got different picks now.
Yeah. making your job hard.
So, there's 4 of them. You and... Okay, all right. Ooh, next one is, I don't know if it's... Let's see here. Angel of Condemnation. This is a rare 2 and white. It's Flying Vigilance 3/3. That's already good right there. And then 2 and a white, you can tap it and exile another target creature. Return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. You can pay 2 and a white and tap it and exert Angel of Condemnation. Exile another target creature until Angel of Condemnation leaves the battlefield. Ooh.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I'm going with that.
I guess the question is anyone not taking Angel of Condemnation?
Well, the Torment
Think
would
we
still
found
kill
the
it.
bomb.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, that's...
Tom, you gonna jump from Sandblast?
Yeah, definitely here. I like this.
Now, we do have a non-full art Plains as our last card.
Yeah, you could draft that one too if you want.
You could.
No.
Awesome. So yeah, I like how going into it, we all pick different cards, based on our play style, what we liked, what we saw out of the pack, and I think you could make an argument for all of them. But that rare, is it rare or mythic? No,
It's
not
rare.
rare.
It's just regular rare slot.
It's I played against one in one of my games, and I've never gotten to play with one, the Angel of Condemnation, but playing against them, it is so tricky to maneuver because that exile, because it can attack you for 3 and still hold up the threat. Like it can attack, you flash something in with flying, and then it'll just eat it, and it's still attacking. Like the Angel's still attacking. Yeah, it's just so versatile, so powerful. It's a very scary card.
Much wow.
You guys with us?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
My wife wrecked me with it on vacation this year, so I don't really want to talk about this card.
Nice, awesome. Well, hey, it's been great having you guys. We're gonna do a weekly recap of the stuff that happened here. I mean, you can stick around if you want to hear a story, stories of the adventures of the nerddom that happens out here. But don't feel like you have to. Or if you guys want to share what you guys did throughout the week as we go through the different days, it's up to you.
No, Wilson, I think I'm happy to stick around and listen. I only listened to my first BAFDraft yesterday at work, so I didn't get the greatest idea about what you guys do, but I'll be listening regularly now, and I'd like to hear. Please go ahead.
Which episode did you listen to out of curiosity?
I listened to the most recent episode, most recent one on SoundCloud. So I'll work backwards from there while I'm working.
Okay, gotcha.
Nice, awesome.
All right. Well,
All right, go ahead, Matt. Kick it off. Drum roll.
All right. Well, well, do you have your little sound thing? Hold on. So first off, I've been fighting Gary on this whole soundboard that he wants to set up.
It's okay. It's not like a physical soundboard with a button that you push.
well, that's what you said.
That's
today
what you
at
said
lunch.
today
I'm
at
not
lunch.
going to be making fart noises and stuff. That's not what I'm trying to come up with. I'm trying to come up with things we would use for the show, like Geek of the Week, and then hit the button as it happens so it goes Geek of the Week. Or
We've been having this conversation with
for a
Gary
long
for
time.
weeks.
Yeah.
So-
but remember, you're not supposed to talk about podcasts on the
Yeah,
podcast.
That's the rule.
you'll listen to that podcast then.
So this is our This Week in Recap.
Yeah, see, if I had a thing.
Well, that's what you said today. Anyway, so Saturday.
So Saturday, all right. We didn't actually record the podcast on Saturday. Gary wasn't feeling so well. So instead,
No. I was laughing. That's a nice way to put it.
Oh, that's the nice way we're putting it?
Yeah, that's definitely not the way we
We're not
put
going
it
to
on
say
Saturday.
Sandy Pearl and all that. All right. Anyway, so we didn't record the podcast, and normally some of the guys on where we're at, they get together at one of the offices. So Flowers and I actually headed over to the office to get to hang out with those guys on an off night. So it's pretty interesting to see the community happening without the guys who I guess more or less spearhead the community. So it's nice to see the community fostering on its own, which is great. They did. They played some Commander. You played some Commander.
One game of Commander, yeah.
It was like what 6-man Commander.
Yeah, which is terrible. One guy came in 3 turns late, and then the game was just weird.
Just all over the place, right?
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, you got a couple of decks that were very, very close to tier 1. Their mana bases cost more than all 3 of the Commander decks I have currently. So, we even told the one guy, and he was the reason we lost. Told him don't counter said spell, and he did it anyway. And then that kid attacked and went infinite and won. So
don't do the thing and then you win.
Yeah. We told him don't do that. Wait until the next one, and he said no, and he did it anyway. So, yeah, thanks to that.
Yeah. So after that, we did my Chaos Draft. It was Shadows over Innistrad, a pack of Shadows over Innistrad for everybody, a pack of Eldritch Moon for everybody, and a pack of Amonkhet for everybody. And in case you're wondering, they do not synergize very well at all.
No.
So I drafted a green-red ramp into flip werewolves. So I drafted all the ramp cards, like all the creatures that tap for mana, and then all the werewolves to become giant threats.
Yeah. And then I honestly can't remember what I drafted.
Didn't you even got to play a game? I had to buy the first game.
Yeah. And the thing is, we started fairly late,
I think it was 9 o'clock when we started drafting.
Yeah, when we started drafting. So we didn't even finish drafting until 10 because they don't have, very rigid time schedule.
Yeah.
So yeah, we played one game, and then we had to get up early I had to get up early the next day for something.
No, so if you're paying attention to the weeks, Saturday was the night before when in the States they were airing the big fight on our Sunday morning.
That's what it was.
It was
McGregor fight.
Yeah, McGregor versus Mayweather. So I never actually got to play a single match with my drafted deck because I had to bounce to get some sleep.
Yeah.
To get like 4 hours of sleep before the fight the next day.
Yeah. So I played one. I believe I lost. I can't remember. And then I left because I realized what time it was. Yeah.
It was just really late. But, smartly, we took the smart decision, and it was to get some sleep before just staying up all night long.
Yeah.
So, and then, Gary, what did you do on Saturday?
I didn't do nothing.
You laid in bed.
Didn't you make chili?
I did make chili. I made chili. No, I didn't make it Saturday. I made it.
I think you made the chili Friday.
No, I did make it Saturday.
You made it Saturday,
I
yeah,
made it
because it was
Saturday.
amazing.
Yeah, because we ate a whole thing of it Saturday. Then I gave the other one to you
to
in
us, yeah.
the morning or evening.
It was at night.
I don't know.
And then made burritos too.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
Made burritos for
Hey,
Sunday.
guys,
Yeah.
you're in Afghanistan and you're making chili?
Yeah, I acquired over the years because we're contractors, so we've been here a while. So I acquired 2 deep freezers and a regular freezer.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
he's got a nicer setup here than I do at home.
Yeah, same. But you also had a coworker who had like an entire kitchen, like a full-blown kitchen.
Yeah, she would buy every cooking equipment and large amounts of meats and stuff from.
They held
Dubai.
what was the one that we just had, the Labor Day holiday? Labor Day barbecue?
Yeah.
Yeah, they had this Labor Day barbecue that was so amazing. Like the spread was, they had like officers and stuff coming out just to eat their spread. That's how good it was.
Yeah.
And we're out here, yeah.
Monday.
Huh?
Monday. We're doing another one.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Oh, I got to come to that then
Yeah,
on
yeah.
Monday. All right. Well,
I'm grilling. I got that chicken marinating tomorrow.
So, enough about us. What did you guys do?
Anything big on Saturday?
On Saturday? Oh my God. I have no idea.
I know, it's so long ago.
That's, I really have no idea what I did on Saturday. I've got 2 little kids, a wife, basically 2 jobs. I don't do anything.
Yeah.
I was fishing.
Oh, look.
I was fishing. I was catching big ass bass. Yeah, that's what I was doing.
Oh, that's awesome. Was it this big? Or was it this big?
It was
Just tell me.
bigger
I'll
than
hit
a
him for
baby's
you.
arm. And I learned a new trick. You put on a cable tie. You know, the thick plastic cable tie? You put that on a wacky rigged worm, and the fish can't rip it off. So save money and cook the fish. It's awesome.
There you go.
Yeah, that's actually a good idea.
And there's your fishing tip for
Courtesy of BAFDraft.
Didn't know you were gonna get a good fishing tip, an actually usable fishing tip too.
Yeah.
All the things you learn at BAFDraft.
Yeah.
None of them are how to play Magic.
Tom, you have anything?
Saturday. Do we do anything Saturday? I asked my wife. She quickly said, "No, we didn't."
Nice.
Frank.
Got myself in trouble there. I think I just relaxed. I'm trying to play through the Halo games again.
Oh, that's actually
Yeah, that's a good time.
good
I'm on
storyline.
Halo 3.
I think that's the one where I ended. I finished 2 and never got to 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's one of them first-person shooter games.
Word.
Yes, Gary. That's one of them newfangled computer games.
If it's not original Mario Brothers, then I don't play it.
You see what we deal with here.
Every day.
He's an amazing sound engineer. Don't ask him anything else tech related at all.
Or game. All right, so moving on to Sunday, we actually got to do our vintage cube draft that
so
Gary
good.
spent the time to actually update. So we have a vintage cube we do, and we keep it up to date with the current, whatever's on Magic Online. So anytime we can get, we try to get 8 people together for that. We had 10 people show up?
I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
Yeah, we had 10 people show up to that. I got to draft a glorious black, blue, red, shred your hands, backed up by Planeswalkers deck that was just beautiful. I loved it. Mind
It was
Shred
something.
plus Rakdos' Return. Followed up by, what was it, Liliana the Veil and
The-
Ashiok.
yeah, that thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's glorious.
Hey, I got turn 1 Grave Titan out.
Yeah? little reanimation deck you drafted?
No, it wasn't reanimation.
It actually wasn't. His
Okay.
wasn't. I
Man, I
can't remember.
played
Somebody
you
else
last
did.
round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need to explain that then. How do you get it out on turn 1 without
well-
reanimate?
Black Lotus, Soul Ring, Mox, and a swamp or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was goofy.
And no one punched you in the face?
Matt just scooped after the second time.
So game 1, I won. Game 2, he won, I think, on turn 3. I had to scoop.
That was turn 2, because by turn 2
I got hit in the face on turn 2.
because I played, I copied him
Yeah,
on turn.
yeah, you cloned it, yeah.
Cloned it on turn 2, so yeah, that's a lot of zombies.
Yeah, and then turn 3, we basically just looked at each other, played land, and said, pass, go, pass, go, pass, go.
And then you did the, so I had Nicobolus ready to -9. You throw down Zealous Conscript, is that
Yep,
what it is?
and I took control of your Nicol Bolas. Ultimated your Nicol
You
Bolas.
7 lives, empty my hand, empty my board, and said your turn, and gave me Bolus back with one counter.
Loyalty, yeah.
I so thought I had that, man.
I had.
and I had the scroll rack going,
Yeah.
which I could have pulled something out and destroyed it. I could have what's the 1 and 2 black?
Hero's Downfall.
I could have Hero's Downfall it, but you had a Force of Will in your hand and then a blue card. So
Yeah. Flowers, what did you draft?
I drafted pretty much mono blue, which is really weird for me. But
For anyone who's listened to the podcast before and your hatred of blue,
I still hate it.
drafting mono blue?
Yeah, well, I've lost too many times to Talarian Academy and every artifact that's in there, so I grabbed that first, and then Torrential Gear Hulk. I grabbed the Shroud Elemental thing, the 7-11 Trample Shroud
the
Island
thing you
Walk.
always draft.
the with Island Walk.
Yeah.
The hatred thing.
Inkwell Leviathan.
That's
Yeah,
what it
Inkwell
is.
Leviathan.
And a couple other cards, and then I got Tinker, and then so I had huge mana ramp. I almost hard casted Emrakul once.
I briberied your Invercool once.
Yeah, you did. I got choice words for that, Gary. So yeah, I felt pretty good. Did not do well.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
Yeah.
Probably won't draft mono blue ever again, unless it's just to make sure nobody else gets any of the blue.
It was awesome for us, because we've drafted the Vintage Cube a bunch, but we've had players out here who I think since they've joined our group, we haven't done a vintage draft. So it's awesome seeing them, watching from their, seeing their perspective as they drafted, the decks they drafted, and the excitement of somebody who's never gotten to play with these cards, finally getting to play with these cards. So that was awesome for us. That was awesome for me, I should say. Seeing all these newer to our community players playing with these ridiculous cards. And it was a good time.
The guy I played in the first round, he was so excited when he threw down his what's the guy that brings out the artifact from your deck?
Anyway, yeah, none of us are going to remember until
Okay.
after.
it's a 2-drop, and when it comes in the battlefield, you get an artifact, or you get a.
Oh, the equipment.
It's
equipment.
the one that's banned in Modern.
Yeah, so
The Stoneforge.
Yes.
He pulls Stoneforge Mystic, all excited, right? He goes through his deck. Oh, I don't have any equipment.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Batter Skull's coming out.
He's drafted Stoneforge Mystic and 0 pieces of equipment.
yeah.
But and those are the things you learn, when you haven't drafted before. So, I think it was a learning experience for everybody. I think we all had a good time.
Yeah, I had a good time.
Yeah.
Any Sunday adventures happen for you guys?
While up at a cottage where I caught that bass, I played a bunch of Sushi Go with my kids, which is actually a pretty good game if you want to introduce people to draft. It's not you don't do anything but the draft, and afterwards you just count up the points of what you've drafted. But for someone that already knows how to play Magic, if you introduce them to Sushi Go, it can make them start paying attention to things like what am I passing and what am I going to wheel, that sort of thing. Fun game.
Okay, awesome.
All right, Matt. Monday, we
And
recorded.
I think Tom's making a sandwich.
Too easy. All right, so Monday we actually recorded our last episode, so we didn't spill. We kept to our weekly routine of that one. So instead of getting our free day our one day of the week of free day, so we did record a podcast. So we lost our free day. So for that, we did that for you, listeners.
Yeah.
We sacrificed our free day for you.
Yeah, and that was actually the special one, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Where
that was
we had
all the spoilers came out.
Yeah, the big spoilers from Magic itself, and we went through card by card and talked about it.
All the rares.
Yeah, which was a really good time.
Yeah. Any Monday adventures, Ted?
That's back to work. So
Okay.
no, nothing for me.
I like it. All right, so Tuesday, our D&D game. This is our low level D&D game. You weren't actually there.
No,
Flowers?
no, I hurt myself, I think, sleeping on my shoulder wrong, and so I haven't been able to go to the gym, and I just haven't been able to sleep. I don't know if it's the amount of energy that I'm normally expending there, but it was consistently 4 or 5 in the morning that I would fall asleep and get maybe an hour or two, and it's not enough to function, as I've learned. So I took Tuesday and Wednesday, and I basically forced myself to go to sleep, which was still 2 in the morning, I think.
Well, it's still way better than normal.
Yeah, it's way better than this last week. So, yeah, I actually passed, which is, kind of okay, because in the last 3 weeks I've had a history of dying once and nearly dying with the new character.
Yeah.
So
you didn't die this time.
yeah.
So you don't know this, but we leveled up to level 4. So I'm actually going to be telling you because you weren't there for any of the adventures. So this is the adventures that we had. It was actually a really small group. It was just me. We had the cat. Me as the thief. We had the cat barbarian, and the Leroy Magekins, Leroy Jenkins as a mage because
I know who you're talking about.
yeah. Anyway, he's a mage that wants to rush into combat, like melee style, and he doesn't have any melee abilities. He just thinks he has a pile of hit points. So, if everyone remembers from last week, we had raided the cult compound, and we were leaving the cult, and then the last remnants it was only 3 members of the cult tried to ambush us. We took them down really quickly, and then we left the dimension, and the portal closed behind us mysteriously. So we were looking for what to do next. So we went back to where all those the little kids, the orphan boys had all gathered to try and see if maybe they had returned, because they all went missing. So we tried to see if they had returned, and when we got there, the characters smelled the lingering smell of cookies, which is the ominous grandmother that the kids think, and it's a dimension hag. It's some kind of being that can create these extra-dimensional spaces or gateways between 2 areas. Not sure exactly how the breakdown of that one goes. Anyway, so we confronted the dimensional hag, but turns out we actually were in her dimension. So she never actually physically manifested. We did a repartee, if you will, back and forth, saying, "Hey, why don't you just give up with your thing? We're gonna be the hero. We're gonna do the hero thing. How about you return all the kids? We'll just go our own way. You and the cult go left. We'll take the kids, go right. And we won't even confront you." And she said no, basically. And she did offer to give us one kid, I guess, sort of as an example of her power. And then she melted the kid in front of us. Yeah, it was Tommy, the one kid, Tommy.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and she just melted the kid in front of us, laughing the whole time. And at that point, I think the wizard or the mage sort of just went crazy and just wanted to attack everything. He tried to attack the darkness with magic missile.
That's fun.
Yeah. So she never did manifest her. Well, we started breaking furniture and stuff, but she would just keep, the dimensional hag laughed at us and just kept reforming the furniture.
So wait a minute. They went back to that, the way they did before?
Yep. If you just smash it.
Yeah, or catch it on fire.
Yeah.
Like the wooden building that we're standing in. We know it's a part of magic, so let's catch it on fire.
And break the magic, I guess, is their goal.
The magic, yeah.
Anyway, so basically getting frustrated, we were like, look, Zastam sent us here. He sent us here to figure something out. And as soon as we said that name, the Dimension Hag was like, what? No! And she kicked us out of her little dimension and said she had to go think about some things. And then, still lost, not really sure what to do, we wandered to her old house where she had, the scrying, and she was running, pretending to be the grandma out of that house. Turns out that house was being was completely empty, looked different on the outside and inside, and inside it was a homeless squatter who said he had been there for some time. So it leads me to believe that we're actually on now a third dimension.
Yay! This sounds more complicated than the season of Lost.
Yeah, pretty much. That's basically what's happening. This is getting more and more convoluted as dimensional shifting level 4 characters.
And that's fun because the person who's running that game hasn't done a single thing in the other game besides stand there and watch us do everything.
Yeah. So it's it's pretty crazy little adventure going on.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what's happening at all.
Yeah. At this point on Tuesday, I think I'm just rolling dice.
Yeah. Rolling dice and laughing because that's all you can do at this point.
So what about you guys? Anything going on Tuesday?
I think I'm a dud for the rest of the week, pretty much, guys. I wish I was playing D&D with you guys, though, because that sounds like an awesome adventure.
Oh, it's definitely an adventure.
It's something. There's awesome parts.
Yes, it's a lot of fun hanging out. Go ahead.
Interdimensional, like grandma cookie being, you had me at that, right? The cookie smell, I'm in. Let's jump through the portal. Let's do this.
I love it.
Just a picture on the wall, free cookies through this portal.
Jump feet first, at least, hopefully. Wednesday, we did not do our spin class because you were still trying to get on your cycle. See what I did there? Cycle, sleep.
Yeah. I still want to hit you for it. That's a normal thing. If you listened last week or whatever, I think
we did it last week.
Well, no, I'm saying I was relaying it for these guys. The people who do spin class, one of them is completely insane. We found out after the class last week that she had some kind of injury, and one of her big toenails was basically just ready to fall off, and she still did spin class harder than the rest of the class.
Yeah.
So I think she's probably back to as close to full strength as she's going to get. And the last time she ran the class, she tried to kill us.
Yeah, she did.
I'm honestly 100% in that she was trying to kill as many of us as she could.
I had a new guy who claims he'll be coming with us.
Oh, yeah? Another one?
he lives on this side of the base as well, so he would also like a ride back.
Oh, that's great. So spin class is good times. They do it at another location. It's the one fitness-related thing that Matt does with me, and I drug him along once and has made him go ever since.
I got stuck doing it, but, we're doing about as reliably as Gary plays D&D.
Oh, man, that's cold.
Yeah. All right, moving on to Thursday. This is our high-level game of D&D. So we run 2 different games of D&D. So if you're wondering why the storylines sort of change, it's because they're actually 2 different games. All right, so with Thursday, angered by the fact that his prey did not come to face him, the Avatar of Death decided to turn around and attack his clone. So if you remember at our last session, the cleric had a Avatar of Death come out of his shadow to attack a player who stupidly drew from the deck of many things.
It's not stupidly, it's bravely, my friend.
Stupidly.
And let's just be clear, the fact that the Avatar of Death chose the cleric as his new form, that's quite the ego boost, I must say.
Well, so if you haven't caught on, Flowers is still playing, again, the war cleric in this game. Turns out that the Avatar of Death that came out of your form, though, wasn't actually the Avatar of Death. It was, in fact, a demonic assassin sent by your evil patron. How do you want to say that?
No, well, it's
Your foe?
Yeah, it's my arch rival, my nemesis.
Yeah,
because when I bravely drew from the card the deck of many things, I ended up with a large castle somewhere. And the only caveat to that was that there's a powerful demon or devil that's living in the castle waiting for me. So I'm anxious to meet him, and I was very upset.
So basically, as I joined in the fight, so the wizard and the cleric did battle with this Avatar of Death demon thing. That had come to kill you. Mm-hmm. And then during the fight, I got sucked through a gate back to Lord Grillis's area again, or a place that looked like Lord Grillis's area. Mm-hmm. And after wandering around for, a ridiculous amount of time.
A couple hours.
I eventually came into contact with my character's father, who my character, according to his backstory, had never met.
Yeah.
So I'm not even sure it's actually my father. It could just be, I'm an illusionist, so it could
Springer
be
stuff.
An illusion.
Jerry Springer.
It could be my mom.
Maury.
It could be. Yeah. You are not the father.
Anyway, he wanted to see this powerful spell that my character had acquired. He wanted to see me use it, so I used it in the most embarrassing way possible. Yeah. Trying to basically say I don't want to do this, but fine, whatever.
Yeah.
And then, shocked, stunned at seeing my dead dad or my missing dad. I basically was teleported back to the fight right at the same time when I had left.
Yep. And then, yeah.
So we finished the glorious battle with the demon.
No, we didn't finish anything.
Oh, how did that one end again?
Yeah, that one happened. Well, we had got the book from the last week, and we brought it to the guildmaster, and he's reading through the book, and for whatever reason, he's just too simple-minded to put the book down. And then when you closed the book on him and said, "Hey, there's this thing over here," as soon as he saw it, he banished it, right as we were about to kill it. So
right as you were about to kill it.
Yeah,
as you were about to deliver the killing blow on it too.
It was done. There was no more healing spells it had, and so he banished it back for free. Not killing it, so it's harder for it to come back. No, so my character's very upset, very very upset.
You don't want demons to have a one-way ticket to hell?
No, I want to send them. I want to push the boot down the door. So from there, my character got drunk, I think, or he was on his way.
Yeah.
And was glaring at the old silly human.
Yeah. Both of our D&D games were short for this week, or shorter than normal for this week.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. A lot of dice rolling. Still decent role playing going on in that one. So
decent role play going on in that one.
Well, I can't.
Shots fired, howitzers out.
Yeah, I can't really, speak for you. I mean, yours was. Oh, my dad. Oh, I'm gonna make a throne out of chopsticks. But it was a good time. I'm really really looking forward to how it's gonna go from there. I mean, that's really the big thing.
Yeah. It's like we're still stuck in that pre-game stage. Like we haven't even gotten into the actual game.
Yeah, this is going on a month, and we're still planning on how to move.
Yeah.
And every time we try, portals open, and people get sucked through, or
just random assassins pop up and try and kill us out of our own shadows.
Yeah, which is still it's an ego boost. I don't care what you say about it.
No, it's awesome. Avatar of Death coming out of your body, copying you. All right, so Friday, we had our largest group since the conversion to Fridays.
Second largest. We had a 12-man group.
Oh, we did? Okay. All right, so we had our second largest group. It was a 12-man draft, so we're back to doing that, which is, I hate 12-man drafts.
Well, this one was 11. So
oh, sorry, 11. My bad. Yeah, I can't read.
We couldn't even split this one up. It was just one big one.
I wrote it, and I can't even read it. It's like 2 feet in front of my screen. Oh, my word. I'm an idiot. Anyway, I drafted a little red-white aggro deck, and by drafted that, I mean I pack 2, pick 1 was active aggression. No, what was it called?
No, aggravated assault.
Aggravated assault.
You pulled the evocation.
Yeah, invocation. And then at the end of the night, I got 3rd place, and the 1st place guy was like, "Ha ha ha! I'll switch one of my random packs. you choose with your 1 win pack.
These are the prize packs.
Yeah, the prize packs. And I was like, sure, done. And I swapped them, and then I opened Forbid as an invocation from that pack.
2 invocations in one night.
2 invocations at one night. So
Yeah, it was good times.
yeah.
And you beat me with aggravated assault in the first round.
And I got to play the invocation, which was awesome. Gary, what you got?
I did the mid-range green-black kind of focus on creatures. I was really trying to do the -1 counter thing.
Right.
Get that going. I didn't get a lot of that going. I still did okay. I got 4th. But, yeah, I just couldn't get past you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I ran white-black zombies. Had a lot of zombies, not a lot of removal, and just never really picked up steam. I had lots of low drops, and it seemed everybody had a lot of removal, and just was like, oh, look, that's a nice-looking creature. He'd look even better in the graveyard. And I was like, well, dang it.
Yeah, but don't zombies want to be in the graveyard to come back out of the graveyard?
Yeah, unfortunately, there is no coming back out of the graveyard for these ones.
Oh.
So, yeah, I did fairly poorly, which is, to be expected recently.
You close. You had me. You got me the first game. You had me down to 2 life.
That was kind of the theme for the night. Was I could do the initial push, and then there was no closing.
You passed a lot that last game, like turn, and I'm like,
well, yeah. I mean, I had good hand, and then like the last 5 turns, I think I dropped land, and that's all I had.
Oh.
There was nothing coming, and I was like, well, that hurts.
So is it like you just didn't have a finisher for your deck?
I mean, I had a...
Because I saw the synergy. So your deck was very synergistic. Lots of zombies, lots of stuff that did things with zombies.
I'm missing 1 or 2 key pieces, and then the 1 or 2 key pieces I did have, everybody knew they were there and immediately killed. Lord of the Accursed was a big one, and then the Accursed Horde to give attacking zombies death touch. As soon as they saw him, people were like, oh no, that's got to die.
Okay.
And I had 3 of the zombie birds, the 3 ones, and I think the most I ever saw was 1 of them.
Oh, wow.
So
and you had 3 in your deck?
I had 3 of them, yeah.
Yeah, I only saw 1 out of all 3 of the games.
Yeah.
One
That's
time,
just kind of like bad luck.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. And I mean, I had 2 board wipes running, and I just never saw them when I needed to.
You worked those real good, though, in our games, though. Like,
yeah, I mean...
I thought you were going to have it that second one when you did the board. I just got lucky, and if you were able to drop anything after that, you would have had that game.
I know.
But then I just got lucky after that, too.
Yeah.
Hippo, about to drop my 3rd hippo.
Yeah, no, he dropped 2 hippos.
The Hydra.
Yeah, the 6/6 trample Hydra on me. So, yeah, once the Hydra came out, I was like, okay, I'm still doing okay. And then the 2nd hippo came out, and then the 3rd, and I was like, I'm done. There's nothing I can do at that point.
All that trampling power, what are you going to drop a 2/2?
Yeah, pretty much. And so, I mean, it was disappointing. There were a couple of cards I would have liked to gotten, but, I didn't, so it is what it is.
Yeah. Awesome. So that was our week in recap. I want to special shout out, thank you to the Cardsphere guys for coming on. Thank you for taking the time to spend with us out here in Afghanistan. Oh, I should ask, do you guys have any questions for us? And we always ask all the questions. Did you have anything you wanted to ask us?
Well, I was trying to find out more about that chili. I would. You guys are eating hot food over in Afghanistan. I would have expected you to be dying for something cooler, maybe something a little more back home. I don't know.
Nah, I like the chili. I'll give you the recipe offline.
It's delicious.
Or what you should do is anyone who tweets us.
Yeah, you got to tell me how that works and who did it.
If you tweet at the _BAFDraft, I'll get you in touch with Gary, and he will send out to you, the listener, his recipe.
I make this, and also I make this from scratch. The only thing I do is I have my key ingredient is San Marzano tomatoes. I use 1 can of that, and then everything else is just like fresh onions, fresh this, fresh that, and I cook it in a certain way.
In a very special, secret way that you'd have to tweet us at the BAFDraft to get that.
Now,
we're trying to teach him.
Are you doing? So I'm up here in Canada, so our chilies, the Canadian food versus the American food doesn't always line up, 1-to-1. Are you in a part of the States that is using beans and stuff like that, or are you just
I do
chili
use
con carne?
beans. That's my personal thing, just because I love beans. I like using black beans instead of like kidney beans or red beans. I've made it with or without, but I'm not originally. I live in South Carolina, but I'm originally from Arkansas. So there, it's kind of a mixed thing too, with the beans or without beans. I think that's just a worldwide thing.
Chili is more like a, I guess, a broth type thing. I would say almost more like not soup, but more a
stew.
More like a stew. If you were to compare like stew to soup, it's like a thicker style chili.
Yeah, and spicy.
I think one of the big things. Go ahead.
I'm gonna come for that recipe, man.
Okay.
Come on out. The weather's beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm not coming to Afghanistan.
Oh no, you should come visit. It's great.
I'll come to the Twitter. The kids are teaching me to use the Twitter.
Yeah, that he definitely needs help with. But yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Hey, thank you guys for coming on with us.
Thanks so much for having us. We really appreciate it, and look forward to doing more trades with you guys in the future.
All right. Thanks.
Yeah,
Great.
thank you.
Have a good week, guys.
All right, see ya.
Bye.
Right. That was the. I'm messing it all up. Sorry. That was the guys from Cardsphere. Remember, you already know to follow us at the _. Follow us on Twitter at the _BAFDraft. Check us out on Facebook on facebook.com/thebafdraft. You can listen to our podcast on iTunes or SoundCloud at The BAFDraft. If you type in The BAFDraft, no spaces, that will pop up. And then, of course, you're already on
YouTube if you're watching.
YouTube, but that link will be on the bottom for you listeners who do audio only. That's it for this week. A little bit longer than normal, but it was fun.
Oh yeah, it was
a really good time, and wish the best of luck to those guys at Cardsphere.
Yeah.
Even with just it coming out recently, it's 100% better.
Oh, matter of fact, I'm going to be up a couple hours tonight just packing up stuff for trades today that I did. So.
Yeah.
What's your profile on there?
So people trade with you. Is BAFDraft Gary.
BAFDraft Gary.
There you go.
So check out BAFDraft Gary. Yeah, just that for now, because I'm not on it yet.
Then you can say you got cards from Afghanistan. I mean, that's going to be
actually true too.
That's going to be something special.
Put in a little envelope.
Yeah, you don't put any sand though. That's against the rules.
Yeah.
Nope. All right. Well, we're tapping out, and y'all have a good week, and we'll see and talk to you next week.